Greetings, bibliophiles, and welcome back to the Well-Read Monocle. I am your guide through the literary stacks, and today we are donning our parkas and venturing into the frozen, chaotic, and utterly charming world of Norse mythology. We are discussing The Sword of Summer, the first installment in the Magnus Chase, and the Gods of Asgard series by Riordan. This tale reimagines the Viking sagas on the streets of modern Boston, weaving a story of fate, unconventional heroism, and the sort of family bonds that are forged in fire. Our protagonist is Magnus Chase, a homeless 16-year-old living on the streets of Boston. Since losing his mother 2 years prior to mysterious wolves with glowing blue eyes, Magnus has survived by staying invisible and relying on his two friends, Blitzen and Hearthstone. On the morning of his 16th birthday, Magnus learns that his estranged uncles are looking for him. Breaking into his uncle Randolph's townhouse for answers, Magnus is caught by Randolph, who reveals a startling truth. Magnus is the son of a Norse god. Randolph hurries Magnus to the Longfellow Bridge, claiming ancient forces are coming to kill him. Magnus must retrieve his birthright from the bottom of the Charles River. He uses a latent power to pull a corroded blade from the water. This is the Sword of Summer, Sumarbrander, a weapon destined to doom the 9 worlds if it falls into the wrong hands. The bridge is immediately attacked by Surt, the lord of the fire giants. In a desperate bid to save lives, Magnus tackles Surt, driving them both off the bridge. In the process, Magnus dies. However, death is merely a career change in this universe. Magnus awakes in the Hotel Valhalla, an afterlife for those who die bravely in combat. He is introduced to this sprawling magical complex by Samira al-Abbas, the Valkyrie who reaped his soul. Magnus learns that his homeless friends, Blitzen and Hearthstone, were actually a dwarf and an elf assigned to protect him. During his welcoming feast, the Norns, weavers of fate, deliver a cryptic prophecy. Magnus is wrongly chosen and is the harbinger of the wolf. This prophecy causes panic. Samira is expelled from the Valkyries for her role in choosing Magnus. Magnus soon discovers his parentage. He is the son of Frey, the Vanir god of summer, peace, and fertility. This makes him an anomaly in Valhalla, a place typically reserved for children of war gods like Odin and Thor. Determined to set things right, Magnus escapes the hotel with Blitz and Hearth. They are joined by Samira, who seeks redemption. Their mission is to prevent the Fenris Wolf from breaking free of his bonds, an event that would trigger Ragnarok, the apocalypse. The group journeys through the World Tree. They visit the sea goddess Ran to retrieve the Sword of Summer, now affectionately named Jack. Jack is sentient, pop culture obsessed, and capable of fighting on his own. They travel to Nidavellir, the realm of the dwarves, to craft a new, unbreakable binding for the wolf called Anscoti. Blitzen secures this rope by winning a high-stakes crafting contest. They even journey to Jotunheim to aid Thor, the god of thunder, who has embarrassingly lost his hammer. After retrieving Thor's staff from a giant's fortress, they secure passage to the island of Lyngvi, the prison of the wolf. The climax takes place on the island of Lyngvi. The Fenris Wolf appears as a massive, terrifying beast. Surt and his fire giants arrive to ensure the wolf is freed. A chaotic battle ensues. The Einherjar from Valhalla, led by the Valkyrie Gunilla, arrive to arrest Magnus but are forced to fight the giants. Gunilla and her lieutenants fight bravely but are overwhelmed. Magnus's friends attempt to bind the wolf. Hearthstone uses powerful rune magic, casting a shield, and then a rune of sacrifice to save Blitzen, who is severely wounded by the wolf. Samira, revealing her shape-shifting abilities as a daughter of Loki, transforms into a lion to grapple with the beast. Magnus realizes that he cannot defeat the wolf with brute strength. As a son of Frey, his power lies in summer, warmth, and healing. He calms the wolf with an aura of peace, while his sword, Jack, threads the magical rope Anscoti around the beast's legs. The binding holds. However, the victory comes at a cost. Gunilla and 2 other Valkyries are killed by Surt. To save his remaining friends, Magnus sends Surt back to the Fire Realm by having Jack cut a rift in reality, closing it just in time. Battered and exhausted, the group escapes on a magical ship. Magnus nearly dies using the last of his energy to heal his friend half-born Gunderson. While unconscious, Magnus meets his father, Frey, in a vision. Frey expresses pride in his son, explaining that Magnus succeeded by letting go, something a war god could never do. Back in Valhalla, the group faces judgment. Odin, the All-Father, finally reveals himself. He had been disguised as a troll named X for the entire book to observe them. Odin validates their quest. He reinstates Samira as a Valkyrie captain, funds Blitzen's dream clothing store, and offers Hearthstone tuition in rune magic. The story concludes with a somber funeral for the fallen Valkyries, followed by a moment of closure for Magnus. He returns to the mortal world briefly to visit his own mausoleum with his cousin, Magnus Chase. They vow to stop hiding secrets from one another. However, a shadow looms. In the final scene, Magnus's uncle Randolph is visited by Loki. It is revealed that Loki is torturing Randolph into service, and while the wolf was stopped, Loki has his eyes on a new weapon, a certain missing hammer belonging to Thor. The Sword of Summer is a refreshing entry into the mythological canon. It strips away the grim self-seriousness of the sagas, replacing it with wit, heart, and a modern sensibility. It suggests that bravery is not merely about how one dies, but how one chooses to live, and that sometimes the sharpest weapon is the ability to heal. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the 9 worlds. Do ensure you are subscribed to the Well-Read Monocle for more literary explorations. Until next time, happy reading.